Welcome back into Exit 99 Sports. As always, my name is Caleb Deloach, and we are deep in the postseason across all sports now. We are totally done with the regular season and all these spring sports. So we are, like I said, we're in the postseason. We're trying to stay alive in some sports. We're wrapping up some other ones already. There's a few more that have finished up this past week. So I'll jump right into it. I will give an aside here to begin. It's Monday, 7 p.m. It's late because I just got done calling the Jackson baseball game in my real time that happened against Fox in the first round of districts. So I have 3 water bottles on the ground next to me in case I'm choking and dying later on. I am coming off of being sick this past weekend as well, so bear with me for a little bit here. But we've got we'll jump back last week. We finished up the regular season in baseball and in girls soccer as well. So that's where I'm going to start with some of those games that we didn't get in before, or didn't get in this past episode. So finish out the regular season. Monday, May 11th, Cape Central lost a brutal game, 9 innings. They lose to Marion 3-2. Marion's tough, man. Marion gave this area heck this year, man. I say that. I think Notre Dame, I'm not looking at it right now. I'm not going to look it up. I think Notre Dame blew them out, and they beat Jackson pretty handily. Now they beat Cape. Super weird year for Marion over here, but whatever. Notre Dame, flip script there. They blew out Bernie, which is a nice win. Bernie's a pretty good small school. The 7, 8, 9 hitters for Notre Dame, they dominated. Sam Self, Braxton Size, Sam Gata. I think that's how you pronounce your name, Sam. Between the 3 of them, they go 6 of 8. They combined for 5 RBIs. They walked once. They came around and scored 6 of the 15 runs. And then individually, TJ Bolin had a really good game. That's what you expect. 2 for 3. 3 ribbies by him and a walk. Put up that 15-0 win, Mercy Rule win. Always nice. And then Saxony, they drop another game. Haven't lost many, but they've lost now 2 to probably the 2 best small school teams ahead of them. I'm going in for the water already. They lose to Chaffee 10-5. Chaffee has lost 1 game all season. It was the Scott City, who also beat Saxony earlier in the year. 10-5, like I said, not a bad loss. I mean, this Chaffee team is really good. Kai McDowell goes 2 for 5, came around to score. Saxony actually was down early. They scored all 5 of their runs in the 6th and 7th inning to kind of help pull the game back in a little bit. Baylor Wilson also had a couple of hits. He goes 2 for 4 in the ball game, but they do come up short. Really good measuring stick game, though, going into the postseason, in my opinion, for the Crusaders. Then next day, that's Tuesday, Jackson. They took on CBC out of the Metro Catholic. Always tough competition up there. They blow out the Cadets. That one was a score of 15-5. I was pretty surprised whenever that score kind of came down, and the Indians blew out a team like that. CBC is usually pretty talented. They usually have kids every year going to be playing at a high level. But in the ball game, I mean, Grant Brown, he goes 3 for 3. He has a couple of RBIs. Matt Carter, 4 RBIs, 3 for 4 by him. Dawson Eftink has a triple and a double in the ball game. So a lot of really, really good hitting. Drew Parsons got the start. He goes 4 innings, struck out 6, gave up 4 earned. But then Caleb Schlick comes in, shuts the door, 2 innings, no runs allowed. So the Indians' big win over, like I said, Christian Brothers is one of the best teams in the state usually. So very nice win there. And Cape Central, big rivalry win. So we had Cape versus Notre Dame. Cape comes out 3-2, gets the win. I think they played twice this year. I might have made that up. So Cape wins. They sweep the season series there against the Bulldogs. 3-2. Aiden McGuire, he gets the walk-off winner. He goes 2 for 3 in the ball game. Caden Chenoweth, he also has a couple of hits, 2 for 3. He has a walk as well. In the combination of Chenoweth and Zach Dowdy, who came in late to close it out, they combined to go 7 innings, only gave up 4 hits, no earned runs. They walked 2, struck out 8. So a really good day at the office for those guys. And Jackson goes on the road. They pick up a 9-5 conference win over Kennett. Adler Flynn led the team with 3 hits. He goes 3 for 4. Grant Brown goes 2 for 3. He has 4 RBIs. Nolan Roach has 3 RBIs, going 2 for 4. Pitching-wise, the big story is the bullpen. They combined to throw 4 innings, give up 3 hits, only 1 earned, struck out 2, walked nobody. So really good day out of the bullpen for those guys. Tony, it's gonna be the grossest episode for my upper respiratory. Then that same day, Saxony, they take on New Athens, Illinois. New Athens from somewhere in Illinois, not too far away. 14-8, Saxony gets the victory. High-scoring ball game, like you kind of come to expect out of the Crusaders. They put up a ton of runs more often than not in these ball games. Tyler Lawrence, 3 for 3 day at the plate. He drives in 2. Eli Radaman, he drives in 3, goes 2 for 5. Walker Short, Baylor Wilson, they also pick up 2 RBIs. James Hope, no RBIs, 2 triples though. Got himself on base, put himself in scoring position. Did what you're supposed to do. Thursday, we had a pitcher's duel up at, I want to say it was at DeSmet. I could be making that up. Rolla and Jackson met up in St. Louis, and Rolla beats Jackson 1-0. That's another team that's dominated this area. They had a heartbreaking win, heartbreaking for Cape Central, over the Tigers in extra innings by 1 run as well, not too long ago. So Rolla claims another team from our area here. They win 1-0 over the Indians. Crazy score. So that wraps up all the baseball regular season stuff we had. Really good years. Our teams are in good spots and districts. Jackson gets a 1 seed in Class 6 District 1. Cape, you get a 4 seed, which is always tough, but it's a super wide open district. Everybody is just like clumped in there together. So they get a 4 seed. Notre Dame is the 1 seed in their district. Saxony is a 2 seed, obviously, with Scott City in their district. So it is kind of what it is, but really, really good year in the area for baseball, especially this, immediate area that I talk about, Cape County. Really good year for Cape Jackson, Notre Dame, Saxony. A lot to be proud of, a lot of positives for each team. So it was a really fun year of baseball in this area. Then we'll get over to girls soccer, closing out the girls soccer regular season. We had just a couple of games. Notre Dame, they get a shutout, 3-0 victory over Farmington. Another nice win for the Bulldogs here late in the season. Jackson, they get a mercy rule, 8-0 win over Sykes. And I think I mentioned that on the last episode. Adeline Abernathy had a hat trick. Bryn Banderman the brace with 2. Then Notre Dame comes back. Very next day, a rivalry win over Cape Central. They shut out the Tigers 4-0 to finish the year really strong. Notre Dame, they're going into postseason as the 1 seed in their district as well. So a really nice close to the year for them. Saxony, however, did not go quite as well. I mentioned they were taking on a really good Perryville team in the last episode. That Perryville team did really get the better of them, beat them 7-0. So that, concludes all the regular season in soccer. I believe that is the conclusion of the regular season in every sport. So now, I'm going to jump in. I'm just going to stay there in soccer. For girls, we've had 1 game already at time of recording. On Saturday, Jackson is the 5 seed in Class 4, District 1. The Indians had to go up to St. Louis. Their district is being played up at Narix Hall. Narix Hall up there in St. Louis, all girls private school. A team that has been a house of horrors for the Indians for many years now. They just cannot get over the Narix Hall hump. However, they go up to Narix Hall. They take on Lindbergh. Lindbergh is a team that beat the Indians earlier in the season. It was at Lindbergh. They score late to win 3-2. However, the script is flipped this go around. Jackson goes up there to St. Louis. They knock off Lindbergh. Really, really nice win, 2-0. Good Lindbergh team, very consistently good program. They win that 2-0. Goals in that one. Adeline Abernathy, Rudy Klund, the freshman, the senior, getting it done for the Indians. They go up, they win, and they punch their ticket to the semifinals. So, look, by the time you guys are listening to this, I'm sure this game will be over with and everything, and that's going to be the case. it just kind of is what it is timing wise. I'm going to go back. I'm going to talk about everything, from this week here that we're in right now. In the next episode, recap all that. But, when you record on a Monday, maybe sometimes there's games happening as I'm recording, or they just got done as I'm recording, and then there's going to be games going on that I, have finished by the time you're hearing the episode, yada, yada. But Jackson punches their ticket to the semifinals. Unfortunately for the the semifinals is going to be against Correzu. Correzu is unbelievable, right? I mean, we've had this conversation before a couple times. They're the best team in the state. They're one of the best teams in America. They have one of, if not the best individual players in the United States of America in Di Maria girl. They've got they have a girl, Roz Doherty. She's going to SLU, who's a great program for girls soccer as well. So they're a machine. They're unbelievable. They're uber talented. There's not a lot that I think Jackson can do against them, but I don't know. Go make it tough. Go make their life really difficult, if anything else, Narix Hall's on the bottom half of the bracket. They won 6-0 in their game. It's going to be Narix Hall against Correzu. Those are two of the best teams in the state. They're probably two of the top 5 teams, regardless of class, in the entire state, maybe even better than that, Narix Hall. Narix Hall had won, I think, back-to-back state titles, and the only reason their streak got broken up is because Correzu jumped up into the same class as them. So it is what it is. I hope the Jackson girls go out, finish the season strong, play hard. They lost the first matchup 7-2 against Correzu. That was at Jackson. So this will be up there in St. Louis. Look, am I predicting a Jackson win? No. But, I want to see them compete. Go play hard. Go make life difficult. Correzu, 20-0. They beat us 7-2, like I said, the last go-around. So go play hard. Go, keep it closer. Maybe, get it within 5. Last year, Jackson lost 5-0 to Correzu. Get it within 5. Make it a couple score game, maybe, whatever you got to do. Play hard defensively. Do whatever voodoo you have to do to keep the Di Maria girl from just controlling the game. But best of luck to them. Congrats to Jackson. Really, really good season. I mentioned it the last few episodes. They have a good senior group, especially girls there in the back, and then, Klund and others up front. But, they have a ton of young girls too, right? You got the Abernathys, Banderman, Murley. There's tons and tons of freshmen playing a lot of minutes on the team, a lot of sophomores as well. So yeah, they have a strong senior group that contribute a lot. Dawes, Stelling, I mentioned Klund. Who else am I leaving out here? Emma Larson up front does a lot for them as well. I think Sauerbrunn for them as well. They have a really, really good senior group, really talented group across, up and down the field for them. But there's just a lot of young girls on this team. And so seeing how well they've played this year has been really, really impressive in my book. So best of luck to them as they take on Correzu here this week. Now I want to jump over to boys volleyball. Just keep it on, this past week's action that we had before I start talking about too much what's going on this week. Way back Tuesday, May 12th, we had another rivalry meeting, this time in the postseason. Notre Dame versus Saxony. And like every other matchup, Notre Dame gets the win. Notre Dame 3-1 over the Crusaders. Saxony actually won the first set 25-21, but then Notre Dame wins 3 straight, 25-14, 25-19, 25-15. So they get the job done. Saxony ends their season 14-12-1. They graduate a couple of seniors, Braden Zellner, Jonathan Palmer, who's obviously a big loss. He's going to be playing college volleyball next year. But Notre Dame does it. I think that's 3 wins all this year against Saxony, trying to kind of avenge the loss that they took to Saxony at their home court last year in the playoffs. And then that punched Notre Dame's ticket into the district championship game. They did have to face off against a very, very talented Lutheran South team that had already beat them in 5 sets earlier in the year. This go-around only took 4. Lutheran South knocks off Notre Dame 3-1. 25-22 Lutheran South, but then Notre Dame flips it, goes 25-22 in their favor, even at 1. But Lutheran South gets a big win in set 3, 25-16, and a 2-point win in set 4, 25-23. Notre Dame, really, really good year, 15-7. They're graduating 2 seniors, Dejon Gray and William Brown. They bring back a lot, but you do graduate a couple of important players as well for the team. So best of luck to those guys that are going to be moving on, and good luck to the guys coming back. Try to push yourselves, get past this Lutheran South kind of monster that's in your way right now. Lutheran South is the real deal, and I expect them to go pretty far in the playoffs. So now, I'm going to talk about some track and field. This is going to be a long segment. The next couple of segments are going to be pretty long. Talk about track and then talk about golf. But starting with track, we had 2 sectional meets over at Dexter. We had Class 2 Sectional 1 and Class 3 Sectional 1. It was Saxony in Class 2, Notre Dame Class 3. And then in the bigger classes, Class 4 and 5, you had Jackson and Cape. That is their district meet. District 1 up at Hillsboro. So there we had 2 of our teams down in Dexter, 2 of our teams up in Hillsboro. So it's a little bit easier to keep track of that way. We had some weather, not too bad throughout the area. We continue to have it here at the beginning part of this week. So just quick comment here early. Just make sure to check out, our social media. I'm going to be sharing any updates schools give on time changes, schedule changes for postseason games or meets or things like that. Follow along to their stuff as well. Cape, Jackson, Notre Dame, Saxony, whoever. See if there's any schedule changes due to rain and whatnot going on this time of year. So that's just my warning ahead of time here to you. So we will start down in Class 2, work our way up with Saxony over on the boys' side. They do advance a few kids on to the state meet. So congrats to these guys. In the 400 meters, Maxim Mayhew takes 3rd. By the way, you have to finish top 4 in the sectional meet to advance to the state meet. So that's how that works here. So Maxim Mayhew goes 51-33 in the 400. He advances. In the 110 hurdles, Nishan Davis will be moving on. He gets 3rd. And in the long jump, Alan Rudd comes away in first place for Saxony. He gets a PR 20 feet, 8 inches. He punches his ticket to the state meet. So really, really cool showing by him, getting a sectional championship, not something that's very easy to come by this time of year. So they move on, those 3 guys, to the state meet. They are going to be moving on quite a few more girls, as the Saxony girls team had quite a bit of success down at Dexter this past Saturday. So those girls are in the 100-meter hurdles, Cadence Turner. She gets 2nd place. In the 300 hurdles, Rena Matthews got 4th place. And we got a couple of relay teams. So the 4x4 got 4th. The 4x8 got 3rd. And then moving on to the field events is really where they made some hay. They have quite a few entries moving on to state over on the field side. And one girl who has one of the more entertaining, grouping of events that she does is Casey Call. So Casey Call, she got 4th place in the shot put. Then she got 2nd place in the high jump. And then she gets 1st place in the pole vault. Let's punch her ticket there. Also in the pole vault, Sarah Seaball got 3rd, so she's moving on as well. And then the long jump, 2 girls moving on as well there. That is Rayleigh Matthews, came in 1st place. She had a PR of 16 feet, 11 and a half inches. And Cadence Turner, 4th place in the long jump. Also, shout out to Cadence Turner. She had a PR in the 100 hurdles. Rena Matthews had a PR in the 300 hurdles. So those girls performing well at the right time. So that's everybody moving on from Saxony. They performed well there in that sectional meet. You got 3 boys. You've got several girls moving on. Team scoring wise, the boys came in 3rd place as a team. They put up 61 points behind St. Pius and Jefferson. The girls for Saxony actually won the sectional meet. They put up 78 points to finish ahead of teams like Jefferson and Louisiana. big time showing, but they're pretty even right there, right? They had a lot of girls qualify in running events, field events, and I'm just talking about people that finished in the top 4. As you're going to hear throughout this, teams performing well as a group. A lot of times, there's kids I'm not mentioning finishing 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th that all contribute points-wise to your team scoring at a really, really high number. So shout out to everybody that made it to sectionals whose season did come to an end. Now up in Class 3, you've got Notre Dame. So boys first, it will be 100 meters. Guys going to a couple of events. Hudson Dennis runs a PR by, I think, 1/100th of a second, but a PR to finish 4th in the 100. He goes 10:98 there to go to state. And the 200, he's advancing as well. He gets 2nd place. Another nice PR, 22:12 to come in 3rd in the 200. And you skip up longer distances, you know who's going to be going on here. If you pay attention to track Notre Dame at all, Aiden Morris, he gets the double win in the 16 and the 3200. Big day for Aiden. He's advancing in the 1600 and the 32. That is just unbelievable. In the 100 hurdles, another guy who's doubling up, Trenton Powell, he gets 3rd in the 100 or the 110 hurdles, and he gets 3rd in the 300 hurdles as well. He also set a PR there in the 110 hurdles, 14:85. Shout out to Trenton. And then Notre Dame, they actually get 3 relay teams on the boys' side through. The 4x1 got 3rd, the 4x2 got 4th, and the 4x8 got 2nd. I'm also under the assumption Aiden Morris on top of the double, 16 and 32. I assume he's going to be in that 4x8 as well at state. So shout out to that guy. Putting in a lot of miles whenever it comes to that state meet, man. He's tougher than I am. In field events, one event Notre Dame kind of thrives at, they have Ellis Bruni. He got 1st place in the pole vault, 14 feet 6 inches. And Owen Steigmeyer, he gets 3rd place there. So both those guys moving on. Obviously, Ellis Bruni has his sights pretty high, I think, this year in the state meet. So best of luck to him. And then on the girls' side of things, Notre Dame going to be advancing a lot of athletes on the girls' side. So the 200, Jessie Iwuchukwu, she's at a PR 25.66. She's going through in 4th place. In the 800, Annabelle Naughton got 4th place. And another doubler here in the long distance, Lily Coy. She got 2nd in the 16 and the 3200 to advance. In the 100-meter hurdles, Maria Sire comes in 1st place. Charlie DeShaney comes in 3rd, and PR of 17.94. Another PR, this one by Grayson Maurer in the 300 hurdles. Grayson, who is going to be running with Lily Coy at Army next year. Really, really cool accomplishment for those girls. She ran 43.78 to get 1st in the 300 hurdles. And then they advance every single relay team. So their 4x1 got 2nd, the 4x2 got 2nd, the 4x4 got 2nd, and the 4x8 got 1st. So all 4 teams moving on to the state meet. And then they move a lot. They move 4 different athletes on in 5 spots in the jumps as well. So long jump, Vita Galati's through there. She got 3rd. JoJo Iwuchukwu got 4th. In the triple jump, Iwuchukwu PRs there to get 1st place, 37 feet, 8.5 inches. And Claire Fouch is in 3rd. Grayson Maurer, mentioned earlier, she is in 4th in the triple jump. So Notre Dame, really, really big Class 3 Sectional 1 meet. The girls blew away the competition. They win by 30 points. And the boys, they sneak by. They win by 7. So Notre Dame boys and girls are sectional champs. They head into the state final with a state meet with a chance to place decently high. I mean, especially on the girls' side, I think they could really make some noise. So, I'm excited to watch. I assume, I don't even know why I'm saying assume, the state meet should be on Misha TV. It's going to cost you something. I assume it's going to be the same deal as it usually is for state finals, things like that, where you're probably going to be able to get classes 1, 2, and 3 for a flat rate all the same weekend, and then you're going to get classes 4 and 5 for a flat rate on the second weekend that the meet's going on. Now, I could be making that up. I haven't looked into it whatsoever. I obviously will be buying it whenever it is time to watch, but that's usually how you can watch on Misha TV. They'll have the coverage there. They do a good job. They'll have announcers, the whole 9 yards. So they'll do a good job covering that. So definitely tune in if you want to see any of these local athletes competing at the state meet. So now moving over to the district meets over at Hillsboro. We'll start with Cape Central, Class 4, District 1. In the 100 meters and the 200 meters, Brayon Clemens gets 4th place. He is moving on. He set a PR 22:32 in the 400 and the 200 to move on. In the 400, Elijah Cheek, also a PR 49:34. He gets 2nd to advance there. Demarion Williams, he comes in 2nd in a PR 14:96 to advance into 110 hurdles. Then the Tigers on the boys' side. Demarion Williams also competed in the 300 hurdles. He'll be advancing there as well. He gets 3rd place. In relays, they take two teams through. The 4x2 gets 2nd. The 4x4 gets 2nd place as well. And on the field side, they really, really lit up, some points there. Was it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different field events they got 1st place in. So in shot put, Isaiah Husky, he's gonna make some real noise at the state meet. I keep saying noise over and over again. He's gonna make some real noise at the state meet. He got 1st in the shot, season best, 56 feet 8 inches. Jamie Adams Jr., another PR, 52 feet 6 inches. In the shot, they go 1-2. In the discus, they go 1-4. Husky 1st, Adams 4th. In the high jump, Jaden Johnson gets 1st. Demarion Williams gets 3rd. Pole vault, no surprise here. Kent Sheridan, he goes through in 1st place. And in the long jump, Jaden Johnson, he's doubling up. He gets 1st in the long jump with a PR 22 feet 2.25 of an inch. So Johnson's in there in a couple of events. Demarion Williams is in there in 3 events. So they've got a squad headed to the sectional meet. In girls, 100 meters, no surprise here. Taraji Riley, she comes in 1st place. She'll be moving on to sectionals. You skip up to the 800 meters. Danica Marriott, really, really athletic family. She gets 3rd in the 800. In the 4x1, Cape gets 2nd. The 4x2, they got 2nd as well. So they'll advance both of those sprint relays. In throwing, Layla Bergfield, big name there. She gets 1st place in the discus, and she comes in 4th in the javelin. So she's going to be doing 2 events in the throws up at the state meet, and then jumps. They send 4 different girls through in the jumps. High jump, they go 1-2. It is Caden Kern in 1st place, Scarlett Whitvet in 2nd. In the long jump, Taraji Riley comes back after the 100-meter win. She gets 1st place in the long jump. Aaliyah Jackson gets 3rd. Team event-wise, Cape was 3rd as a team, and the boys, on the girls, they were 3rd. The boys, they were 2nd. So really, really good day for the Tigers. Now, we can get to the Indians here. Jackson, Class 5, District 1. Starting with the boys, Jackson put a ton of kids through, especially on the boys' side. As they put, there's a lot that I was kind of surprised about. Some of the, we'll get into it here. Some of the relays, things like that, I was really impressed. No surprise though, is the 2 kids who are going to put up a lot of points for you, even at the district level. Still, it's going to get tougher at the sectional level. But in most days, most races, you've got 2 kids that are going to score you, off the top of my head, I think it's 64 points, right? You've got Barrett and Blaine Reagan. Barrett gets 1st in the 100. Blaine gets 2nd in the 100. Barrett gets 1st in the 200. Blaine gets 2nd in the 200. And they flip in the 400. Blaine runs a season best, 47.77 in the 4. Barrett comes in 2nd. They go 1-2 in the 1, 2, and 4. Then they come together. They combine to win, I think, set a new school record. In the 4x1, they get 1st place in the 4x1. So the Reagans combined, they scored 18 points, 18 points, 18 points, and then 10 points in the 4x1 but they can only put one team in. Yeah, I mean, they're unbelievable. They should advance in all four of those races as well onto the state meet at sectionals. Obviously, weird things can happen with relays or whatever, but another big day for those boys. One that really impressed me, one that shocked me a little bit, in the 800, Nathan Meisner gets second place in the 800, a big PR. He goes 157.30. There's a really tough group in that district that Jackson was in. I mean, you had to run, going into it. I said he had to set a PR to advance. I think he had to go 147 or 157 to advance. And he did. He goes 157.30. Maybe a couple of kids are a tick slower than they had been in the past, and he took advantage. He punches his ticket. Really, really nice time. Obviously, he's advancing on to a really, really tough sectional as well, but it's exciting just to be there. We'll see how it goes whenever it's time. Then in the 300 hurdles, Jackson has two kids that are running really well right now. Gage Parker comes in first place. Memphis Maddox comes in second. So they punch their ticket to sectionals. Then Jackson advances every single one of the boys' relays. The 4x1 I mentioned got first. 4x2 got third. The 4x4 got third. The 4x8 got fourth place. So all of them move on. In the throws, Jackson had a pretty good day as well. Shot put, Gavin Shin comes in second. 51 feet, 10.5 inches. In the discus, Bryson Wessel gets first overall, 169.2, which is a PR. And Gavin Shin comes in third. In the jumps, you've got Ryan Larry. He came in first place in the high jump. He also came in third place in the long jump. Pole vault, Nolan Harrison, maybe a little bit of surprise. He got fourth place in the pole vault. And then in triple jump, Evan Turley, another one, a little bit of surprise for me. Season best, 40 feet, 6.25 inches. He advances, getting third place in the triple. Then on the girls' side, the only unfortunate thing is, Beckley Getz not running in any individual events. She was somebody who has been Jackson's, I think fastest 100, 200, and 400 runner this season. She did not participate in any of those, but Jackson does get one sprinter through in an individual race. Anaya Bonzi, she got fourth place PR, 26.60 in the 200, so she's moving on. And up in the upper middle distance, you've got Hallie King. She got third place in the 800. In the 16, Emma Niedbalski came in second, and then Hallie King, who's going to be doubling up, I think actually tripling up, she got fourth place in the 1600. In the hurdles, Kendall Leland, really nice run. She gets fourth place in the 300 hurdles. In relays, Jackson is advancing 3 relays. 4x1 got second. The 4x2 got first. And then the 4x4 came in second place. That is where Hallie King is going to be running 3 races. The 8, 16, and 4x4. 4x4, second place. That'll be King, Stella Roosler, Charlotte Jessel, Emma Niedbalski there. Then in field events is really where Jackson had a heck of a day. Now, it helps a lot when you've got a girl by the name of Katarina Ellefson in the throws, but a lot of other people stepped up as well. Speaking of that, in the shot put, Anna Knippen actually comes in first place. Ellefson is behind her in second. In the discus, though, Ellefson comes in first. Anna Knippen sets a PR of 117.6 to come in second. In the javelin, Ellefson is first in jav as well, with her teammate Jayla Smith setting a PR of 130 feet, 7 inches to get second place. In pole vault, Indians go 1-2 there. It's Lily Morningstar setting a PR 10 feet, 5.5 inches, which is a big surprise, coming ahead of Amelia Fox, who tied for second. I would have bet just about anything. Amelia's on the top of the podium, but it's Lily Morningstar this go around. So shout out to Lily getting it done. Also a state qualifier in wrestling this year. So Lily has a really cool opportunity to go to state in a couple of sports. And then finally, in the long jump, Brooklyn Williams, she's blew past the competition, got first place. She was the favorite there by a mile, and she took care of business. She gets first, punches her ticket. And Jackson, boys and girls, they get first place in both the boys and girls team overall in district. So really, really cool. Boys and girls teams both finishing the deal there. So that wraps up track from this past weekend. We'll jump into tennis. So in tennis, we had a doubles team, and then we had two singles advance into the state tournament from around here. In doubles, it was Bruce and William Miller from Cape Central. They, unfortunately, dropped their match 2-0 to a duo from Platte County. The Millers lost 2-0. They lose 6-0, 6-3 to get eliminated there in Class 2 doubles. Class 2 singles, Michael Bogdanovich of Notre Dame took on Samuel Goodhue from Thomas Jefferson Independent Day School. Don't know anything about it. Bogdanovich, unfortunately, comes up on the short end of a very, very, very good match, 2-1. He loses the first one, 5-7, wins the second one, 7-6. And then after several tiebreakers, he loses 10-8 in the third and final set. So tough way to go out, but shout out to Michael. Really, really good season for him. And then the other qualifier from Notre Dame was Owen Blattel. Owen Blattel, first round matchup against a kid from North Point. He swept that one. He won 2-0, 7-5, 7-6. Loses in the second round, the quarterfinals. Eventually works his way into winning the seventh place matchup to finish seventh place overall, which is a really, really cool thing for him and Notre Dame as a school, because I saw they posted that he's the first tennis boy athlete to ever finish on the podium for him, coming in seventh place. So shout out to Owen. Seventh place in state, really, really good deal. The first person in school history. Owen is he's another Sportsplex kid. I remember Owen when he was a little kid playing basketball, a couple years older than his brother Ty. So really, really cool to see him grow up. And now he's going to be playing college tennis at the next level, Franciscan universities, I believe. So shout out to Owen, getting on the podium and advancing in his career. So very, very cool. Shout out to Blattel there. Now we'll finish up, at least recap-wise, boys golf. I think I mentioned some of this, but I'm going to run through it here quickly. I mentioned in the last episode kind of how things shook out, but we will go through now individual by individual. We're going to take a quick timeout here for Caleb to blow his nose, though. All right, we're back. So up in the Class 5 district tournament, that was at Eureka. It's where the Indians find themselves. They finished 13th as a team, maybe not where they wanted to be. Nobody advances, unfortunately, for Jackson. Their high finisher, Jimmy Williams, tied for 21st. He shot an 80. Weston Stroud, an 83. Crowley, an 87. Jackson Miller, an 89. And Caden Shaw, a 91. That closes out the season for the Indians there in districts. Like I said, I know it's not how they wanted to go out, but that is just the game of golf. Some days the wind is funky, the weather's funky, things just don't go your way. So Jackson, 13th as a team there in Class 5. Down in Class 4, you've got Notre Dame and Cape Central there. Notre Dame, big story there. They come in first place as a team to win Class 4 District 1. The tournament was up at Farmington. The leader in the clubhouse for them, Gary McMullen, shoots a 76. Tate Shively is fourth with a 77. Max LeGrand is sixth with a 78. Eli Schaefer, 15th with an 83. And then Weston Edwards, 21st with an 85. Shout out to the Bulldog boys. Excuse me. Cape Central, as a team, a little bit behind the Bulldogs there. Unfortunately, they come in sixth place as a team. They shoot a 361. However, a couple of kids are going to be advancing on for the Tigers, namely Seth Ferguson. Seth Ferguson comes in first place overall, Class 4 District 1, shooting a 71. Unbelievable day for him. He's one of the, I flipped through all the scores of the different districts. He was I believe he finished top 5 overall in the entire day across the entire state in Class 4. So heck of a day for Seth. He goes in now with a real big opportunity if he scores around that to maybe win it all in Class 4. Also advancing for the Tigers, Josiah Seaball. He shot an 86 to come in 22nd. Closing out for the Tigers, Henry Bertrand and Beckett McClard both tied for 48th, shooting a 102. And then finally for Saxony, Bryce Gabler will be moving on. He shoots an 81. He finishes tied for 5th overall. They come in 8th place as a team. They're in Class 2. Otis Turner, the third, he comes in 30th and shoots a 95. Alex Burek shoots a 99. Matthew McKee shoots a 105. And then Allie McKee shoots a 107. So congrats to Saxony. Gabler, they're moving on for them. So we've got some guys and girls. We've got some guys in the state tournament. That's very cool to see. Now let's talk about this week. So I mentioned I just got done calling a baseball game myself. Therefore, I know the outcome of some of these games here early on. It's already 8 p.m. right now. I was calling the Jackson game. I do that, 104.7 The Bridge. In football and basketball, I got roped into doing the baseball game. I don't do a lot of baseball games. They start early. You know, I have a job outside of doing this. So, you know, I work until 5 most days, so it's just not feasible to do many baseball games. The Indians win their first round matchup. It was not easy. They beat Fox 5-4 in the 1 versus 8 matchup. That's pretty eye-opening, but it's baseball, man. Anything can happen in baseball. And today, no exception there. Jackson jumped out big lead early. They go up 4-0 in the bottom of the first inning. Fox makes a pitching change. They did not start their best pitcher. Their ace all season long. I looked up the stats before the game. I assumed this kid would be starting. I think his name was Jaden Coleman. So Coleman started at second base. You know, coming into the ball game, he had a 2.6 ERA. He had the most wins, the most innings by almost double of anybody on the team. And they didn't start him at pitcher. Unfortunately for them, the starting pitcher really struggled with command, walked a ton of kids, gave up those 4 runs. They brought in the Coleman kid. He shut out the Indians for 4 consecutive innings. His team fought their way back. They made it 4-3. Jackson, though, they get an insurance run in the bottom of the 6th inning. It was actually on a balk. They had runners on 2nd and 3rd. It was kind of unfortunate for Jackson because I guess the balk was called. I have no idea. I didn't hear it or see it called. But the pitch was thrown, and Dawson Eftink actually hit a monster double all the way to the fence. 2 runs scored. Eftink, ended up standing at second. And then after the play, they're like, hey, what are y'all doing? Eftink, you go back to home. Adler Flynn, you go back to third. That run scores. Everybody was so confused. It is what it is. Jackson goes up 5-3. Eftink then pops out, of course. And we go to the potential final frame, top of the 7th inning. Fox actually puts together a couple of base runners. They score a run, RBI single, brought it within 1 run, but the Indians were able to get out of it. Brody Meyer finished the job. Carter Shipman got the start. Shipman had a great start to the game. He struck out the first 6 batters he saw. I think he gave up a double and then struck out the 7th guy, or a 7th person on the day. Really, really good start by him. He's going to Crowder College next year. Really good pitcher. And now, TBD on who Jackson's still playing. At 8 p.m., it's still TBD. All the games in St. Louis got pushed back due to the bad weather. So they're going to be playing either Lindbergh or Oakville. Obviously, I don't even know why I'm saying this. You guys watching this already know, and you probably already know the outcome of that game. But that is who they're facing. Elsewhere, Cape Central ended up hosting their ball game due to the weather, and Cape knocked off Sykeston in the first round, the 4-5 matchup. I actually had that wrong. Cape is the 5 seed. Taking on the 4 seed Sykeston, but Cape wins 4-2. They started Chapman Ogles. He had a really, really good day. He goes 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run. He struck out 10 on the ball game. Hitting wise, Alex Owasco, the only player with 2 hits on the day. Jathan Spain stole a couple of bases. Shout out to him. They walked Christian McNew a couple of times as well. So good day for the Tigers. Owasco, McGuire, Hickey, and Spain accounted for the 4 RBIs. So they move on. They will be taking on the 1 seed Festus. They're presumably in Farmington. That game should then be on the 20th for the Class 5 district semifinals, whereas Jackson is playing their semifinals on Tuesday. Elsewhere, you've got the Class 4 District 1 semifinals. That is the Notre Dame Bulldogs. They take care of business. They blow out the Doniphan Dons 15-0. Good hitting by lots of guys. TJ Bolin has 3 RBIs. McCowan has 3 RBIs. Jansen has a couple RBIs as well. Houston Crawford got the start. 3 innings, 5 Ks, only gave up 1 hit. Jansen came in, no hit, 1 inning pitch, struck out 3. So it was open and shut. They just blow out Doniphan in the ball game, and they move on. They're going to be playing in the district championship there. I will actually filibuster here for a minute and get over here to the district brackets. Once again, if you want to see who your team is playing, who won, things like that, you can always go to the Misha website, go to activities, find the teams, things like that. So I mentioned Cape Central's advancing. They don't even have the Jackson score in here yet. The Notre Dame blows out Doniphan. We don't have a score. The game's still probably going on. Kennett and Dexter, they had a late start. So anyway, Notre Dame going to be playing that game on Wednesday. The championship game, it should be at Notre Dame. Championship game at 5 p.m. So Bulldogs fans, get out there, go pack the stadium, go root your team on to a potential district championship game. So that'll be very cool. Looking ahead schedule-wise, Jackson plays on Tuesday. If they win that, they'll be in the championship game. That game will be Thursday. So the Class 6 District 1 championship is Thursday. That's at 4 p.m. I believe it'll be at Lindbergh up in St. Louis. Just super, super convenient timing, having games on Thursday at 4 p.m. Not complaining. Yes, I am. If Cape Central pulls off the upset over Festus in the semifinals, their game will be May 22nd at 4:30, so that's Friday at 4:30, against DeSoto. DeSoto won the first round game, I'm seeing now. They upset the 2-seed Farmington. So it's either going to be DeSoto, Poplar Bluff, or Hillsboro. My guess would be Poplar Bluff. Poplar Bluff has looked really good, so that's my prediction as of now. That is who I think they might see. That game, once again, championship game, Friday, 4:30 p.m. Just make sure here. I believe it is at Farmington. It is at Farmington is where that district is being hosted. So if the Tigers do get to the championship, it will be at Farmington. Now, moving on to girls soccer. I mentioned Jackson won their first round game. They were the lone game that took place over the weekend in districts. So as we know, Jackson versus Corhay Zoo. That game, you probably already know the outcome. That is Tuesday, 6 p.m. at Narix Hall. Now we'll move down to Class 3. Cape Central, we've got no score. That game was at Melville. They've got no outcome yet. They're playing, as I'm talking to you, presumably, as long as, weather pending, things like that. If they pull off the upset, which I'm not predicting because they're playing at Melville against Melville, they will be playing Wednesday at 7 p.m. Now, one team that I know finished today, that is, unfortunately, Saxony Lutheran today. They did lose earlier this afternoon. They fall to Lutheran South 5-1. So Saxony does get beat 5-1. That ends their season. Pretty good year for the Crusaders. They had some nice wins over some local competition. There's a tier above them that they couldn't really break through, which makes sense. But overall, good season, good young team. Once again, there's another team. I mean, you talk about that a lot with Saxony across the board, it feels like right now. They've got a lot of young rosters across sports, and they'll be bringing back a ton of kids. You look up and down the entire roster, there's a lot of underclassmen. Only 2 seniors, Tegan Barnett, Sophie DeBrouwer, going to be graduating. I mean, even the junior class isn't that big. There's 5 juniors Everybody else, freshmen and sophomores. So tough end to the season, obviously, but they bring a lot back, so I'm optimistic for the future there. In Class 1, Notre Dame actually being the 1 seed, they got a bye to the quarterfinals. That game Wednesday, they'll be taking on the winner of Hancock and McKinley Classical Leadership. Do I know anything about either of them? No. Do I think it matters? Also, no. I think Notre Dame's going to win, put themselves in the semifinal. That semifinal is Saturday, May 23rd at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. Notre Dame, what are you doing there? What did you do to somebody to make you play at 10 a.m. on a Saturday? Anyway, they're going to be playing 10 a.m. on Saturday. However, that game will be in St. Louis at Bishop DeBerg Stadium up in St. Louis. So 10 a.m., St. Louis. Team from Cape Girardeau. Make it make sense. They can't. They can't make it make sense. Notre Dame, I think, is a favorite to get to the semifinals. They could be playing Bishop DeBerg at Bishop DeBerg, but regardless, I really like Notre Dame to get to the finals here. They're going to be taking on probably Brentwood in the championship. If we get to that point, the championship is Monday, May 25th at noon on Memorial Day. They're playing at noon on Memorial Day. Also stupid, but whatever. They don't ask me, I guess. They should. They should ask me. But that's kind of the layout for Notre Dame. I like their chances of getting there. They're probably going to face off against Brentwood, and then we'll see where that goes after that. We'll recap it once we get there. That's kind of the outlook for girls soccer. We're done now with a couple of Saxony is out. We're waiting on the Cape Central final. We know Jackson's at least has one more game against Corday Zoo. Notre Dame probably have a couple games. Now you look over boys golf. So we've had a weird day in boys golf today. I will look. They've moved around some schedules, things like that, due to bad weather. There's been a lot of weather across the state this Monday, May 18th. Looking at anywhere, I don't see any scores at the moment. I think looks like most everybody has been pushed back. I thought there were some that went final today, but there's nothing here on the Misha website, so that's going to be something that we recap later on. Class 4 golfers, so that's Notre Dame's team, Ferguson and Seaball. They'll be playing in Columbia. Class 2, Saxony, they will be playing in Farmington. Meanwhile, the last thing I think I have to talk about, track and field. So we've got Saxony and Notre Dame. They will be competing at Jeff City. That is where the state championship is at every year in track and field. It's at Jeff City High School. Really nice facility there. Ton of seating. You don't have to worry about anything like that at Jeff City. There should be plenty of room. It's pretty good layout. So looking at schedule, you've got the smaller classes 1, 2, and 3. They will be taking place on Friday, May 22nd and Saturday, May 23rd. They're at Jefferson City High School. And then obviously the bigger classes will have sectionals this weekend. Classes 4 and 5, those sectionals, actually Cape and Jackson, will both once again be in the same place. That is Kirkwood up in St. Louis this Saturday. That's where you'll find the Tigers and the Indians. Like I was saying, the schedule, let's look at it. The schedule for 1, 2, and 3, we've got field events starting at 9:30 a.m. on Friday, and you've got running events. So you do a lot of prelims on the first day, Friday, and then a lot of the finals are on the second day, Saturday. But national anthem's at 10:20 a.m., so get there early if you want to go see some running events or tune in early. We start with, there's no prelim for it. We go straight into the championship race in the 4x8. So that'll be very cool. We go 4x8, typical schedule, 100 or 110 hurdles, 100 hurdles for girls, 100-meter dash, boys, girls. So that'd be very cool. Go check it out. Like I said, I believe it'll be broadcast on Misha TV. And looks like a link to keep up with live results as well on the Misha website. If you go to Track and Field Championship Information Central, there's a button down here that says live results. Click on that. Looks like it will be hosted on their own website kind of deal. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to be on there. I don't know if it's going to be on Mile Split or athletic.com, anything like that. Don't quote me, but they do have their own site here for live results for the state track meet. So go check it out there. As I mentioned, Cape and Jackson, they're sending a lot of runners, boys and girls, up to sectionals. I think they have a good chance to get quite a few kids through. For the Indians, I like where the Reagans kind of sit at. They have, in my opinion, a really, really good chance to punch their ticket to state in 4 different events, which is kind of crazy. Quickly looking through the entries, or this shows times from it's going to be competitive. So, looking at Jackson, you've got a couple of guys, Henry Rohan from MICDS, Evan Vaya. You've got the entire final has run sub 1100s. So it's going to be tough. Once again, top 4 will get through the 200 meters. You've got most of the final has run sub 22, 200 meters. And the 400 meters, you got a little bit more variance there. Theoretically, if they run right around what they have been running the last month or so, if they're running somewhere in the 48 range, they have a good shot of getting through. It's going to be tough, though, at the front. I mean, in districts, Jude Light of CBC ran 48.24. Evan Vaya, he's a freak of nature athlete, by the way. He's going to be playing college football pretty much anywhere he wants. Could be at Mizzou. He goes to Ladue. He ran a 48.80 400. So, 49.40 from a kid from Marquette. So there's going to be some real competition. It's not going to be easy to get through. Jackson's in a pretty good sectional. Like I said, CBC's, Ladue's, Farmington has really good squads and different things, relays. They have really good mid-distance, long-distance teams as well. So, there's some dudes here. When you get to the higher distances, you've got to compete with all the SLU kids, things like that. Like Nathan Meisner ran the 3rd fastest time at districts of anybody in this 800, but everybody here is between 156.4 and 158.0. So there's not a lot of variance. If you have a bad day, there's a good chance you're not going to get through. So there's a lot of athletes here. I'm expecting a good amount of our athletes to get through, even in pretty tough sectionals for Jackson boys and girls. And the same thing with the Tigers Class 4, Section 1. You have a really, really good Poplar Bluff team that was in your district on the boys' side. They've got a lot of kids, especially in the sprints, that are pretty dang talented. On the girls' side, you've got to deal with the Festus team that was just unbelievable at districts this past week. They're going to be one of the best in the state. So, Cape kids are going to have a tough time. Clemens, for example, in the 100, there's going to be a lot of guys sitting right there around 10-9, 11, 11-1. So it's going to be very, very competitive. You got to put up a really, really good time to get through. Similar to the 200, there's only one kid running sub 22 there. So there's some opportunities definitely for the Tigers there on the boys' side. Obviously, Taraji Riley is the favorite still to win a state title in the 100 on the girls' side. So that's really, really cool to see. So I'm excited. Tune in. I don't know. I might update you on social media whenever I find out exactly where the live results are going to be at. I think it could be on athletic.com. That's where it was this past week. So check out athletic.com, athletic.net. Athletic.net. They also have an app. Just look up Athletic and Athletic Net, and you should be able to find it in the App Store as well. Or it could be a Mile Split. I'll update you either way. I believe it's going to probably be on Athletic for the sectionals, and then the championships. Go to the Misha website. Go to the Championship Information Central once you go to track and field, and then at the bottom kind of shows like schedule and then live results. Click on live results. They should have it there for you. So that's enough rambling from me. I've talked way too much today between calling a baseball game and now talking to you guys. So thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it as always. Share this with anybody that might be interested. Anybody has a kid or grandkid that plays. And as always, if I get anything wrong, anybody you want me to talk about, anything you want me to update, just slide in the DMs, wherever, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can find me personally, Caleb DeLoach, or you can find our Exit 99 page on all social media as well. So thank you guys. Once again, I've said it a lot, but we are here down to the nitty gritty. So get out, go watch some of these kids participate. Appreciate what them and their coaches have put together this season as they're deep in the postseason now, and go enjoy the little bit of time we've got left because it's almost summer. So we're almost out of high school sports for this year. So thank you guys. As always, have a good rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.